Football with friends is fun as hell. My name is Alex Dunlap here with Cody Carpentier, coming at you about 10 minutes early today. And Cody from an odd spot in an airport somewhere in Minnesota, and what's been labeled a quiet and comfort room, Cody.
Quiet room. I'm in a quiet room. Yes.
You can just say you want to go in there to make it be quiet. I guess you don't have to go ask the administrator of the airport. You just kind of go in there.
Yeah. I walked around a corner and I found a room that was labeled quiet room. So I found it, and I claimed it, I guess you'd say.
Okay. Well, we have a Final Takes Friday here. Thanks to everybody for being here with us on a Friday. Bunch of big news from today. A good bit of big news from today with Nick Brooks committing to Texas. We kind of went over our scouting evaluation of him and some of the film that we saw of him, maybe some of our concerns about the guy. But the fact of the matter is it's a numbers game at the offensive line. Kyle Flood loves these super big dudes. And yeah, man, it was needed. Is he Mike Fasusi? No, he's not Mike Fasusi, but good enough player, and we'll see what pans out with it. Just a little programming note here. You might notice that we started about 10 minutes early. That just has to do with Cody's schedule for the day. He's doing this from the airport, then he's got to go floss out to. What are you doing? You gonna help your sister move or something?
Sister's moving into college this weekend, so came home for I don't know, quick trip, but got to get in.
Yep. So get in, get out. All right. So hopefully that Wi-Fi holds up, brother. We'll see what happens. Do you want to get into final takes?
Let's get into final takes, brother.
All right, here we go. The first one here, just with these are all in buy or sell form. Okay. At least mine are. Final takes for Cody. Texas sweeps the board with Michael Terry, Nick Brooks, Jonah Williams, and Jamie French.
I'm going to go. I like that. I mean, it's in buy or sell form. You said I'm going to go buy. The French thing, I'm still a little hesitant on. I know there was some good tidbits.
You just don't think that Texas can have nice things?
There was some good tidbits in the war room last night that people should go check out over on orangebloods.com. But I don't know. I don't know about the French Lockett Moore thing seems to still have a little bit of like oxidizing gas to it that just radiates. I don't know.
Yeah, so you think that could still happen even if Michael Terry?
I'm just saying, based on what I read in the war room, it seems like people are still smelling that gas.
Lockett, Terry, French is. I know it's not Lockett, Moore, French, right? But it's like, don't you think if you would ask somebody back in the springtime that it would have been all right? So Cody, I guess his internet might have gone out. I think this, man, and we'll wait for Cody to come back. But I just think that can we really say that if we would have asked anybody in the springtime about whether or not that was going to be look, would you rather take the chance on getting those three? And like what Jason always said with those three, it was always, man, I like Texas' chances with each one of them. This is what he said before these guys committed. And then when DK Moore was coming to Texas and coming in with his grandma and doing all this stuff, right? He was saying, I like my chances I like Texas chances with all three of these guys, but getting all three of them at once, I think that law of average, right? That's going to be something that just doesn't happen. Collectively, right? But he liked the chances with each one individually. Don't you think that there could be something with there could be some way that okay, so I'm getting messages from Cody. The airport's closing. He's got to run outside and go sit on a bench. Okay, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I just think Texas fans, at least, we can hear from you guys in the chat, right? Would you rather have had, I think you would take the bird in hand if they said, look, man, you can take it or leave it right now. Lockett, Michael Terry, Jamie French, right? That's sort of the way that sort of the way that I see that one. So that'll be the first final take here. Looks like we got Cody back. let me just see. Sorry about the difficulties here. We knew it was going to be a weird show, but didn't know it was going to be this weird. Can I add him in? Cody, you there? No, not sure I can even add him in. We'll see what happens. Well, all right. If you guys have questions, man, you throw them in the chat. Cody, why do you have us losing to OSU? I'm not sure exactly. It's not Texas, but I can't wait for tomorrow. Man, bunch of big games tomorrow. Let's see. Jack Gibson, what kind of airport closes at 6 p.m.? It's weird because he's, it's just I don't think Cody really thought it through too much. While we're waiting for him to come back, though, just Cody was talking about there were some sort of big notes yesterday from the war room, and most of that stuff I think sort of it has to do with this stuff about how Ketchum said that Jason was going to have more on this, but Ketch is still up, running up the hill about the level of confidence with closing out August big in recruiting, and he's from what Ketch has heard and from what Jason has heard, they're very confident now in Jamie French, and I'm becoming confident in that with Jonah Williams. I mean, that's something where every analyst across all the different platforms and all the different websites and the recruiting services, everybody now is putting in their crystal balls or their RPMs or whatever the future casts, whatever it is that they call it. It feels like those things are really coming in for Jonah Williams. It's just, and I think the question so the question that I had on Wednesday was if Texas were to look back at this Jonah Williams thing, was that going to be the thing they look back at that maybe jump-started recruiting? It could be, man, even with the issues that I have with the pad level and with the balance and with the flexibility of Nick Brooks, it could be that he's the one that kind of sees it getting kickstarted just because of the timeline of when these things are going to run out, right? They're all through the 21st, 27th, whatever. They're all going to be right through this upcoming week of August leading into game week. And the only thing I'll say about it is with Brooks, you're at least, so you had your fifth offensive lineman. So what is it? John Mills, the Coleman twins. We're not going to count the third one. Jackson Christian and now Nick Brooks, right? Very, very 2023-ish as far as a class, as far as I'm concerned, the way that it looks. That's assuming that they don't flip Fasusi, and I don't have any reason to believe that that's going to happen. So, but you do at least get the requisite number at offensive line. And, dude, offensive line is a numbers game. It truly, truly is. And I bet you one of these guys hits, and it could be somebody that we just don't expect. I was saying yesterday, what if it's like Jackson Christian? He comes in, he's like awesome. It could happen, right? So we can consider offensive line at this point addressed. Would they turn somebody down if like some awesome player comes available? No, but I mean, you can consider it addressed. Wide receiver if they get French. And look, we're going to talk about this in the sense that Texas does land all four of these guys, right? Terry, French, they've already gotten Brooks and Jonah Williams. Okay. Adding in French and Michael Terry takes care of the problem of Silas Bolden will be gone next year. By the way, Silas Bolden, more notes about him in the war room. I've never seen is he going to start? I've never seen somebody talk more about this guy. I mean, Ketch said that he was talking to somebody. Look, I talked to a bunch of these guys too. I don't hear quite as much about Silas Bolden as the rest of the team. But gosh, man, when he first showed up on campus, there was a lot of talk from people around the team, people close to players who around players sometimes and stuff like this. They say, dude, they say Bolden's awesome. All that, but just everything we've seen from practice and everything we've seen at the various scrimmages, it kind of shows us that that's possibly not going to be the case that he ends up starting, but more good stuff from him. Regardless, if he's gone next year, right? If Bond's gone next year, there's a chance that Matthew Golden's gone next year. I think that Lockett, French, and um, Michael Terry, these guys are gonna. Let me just see here. I think Cody's trying to get back on. Cody, you trying to get back on? There you go.
Yes, sir.
where where are you, man? You on your phone or what?
Yeah, see if this works. See if it works a little bit better this way.
Yeah,
I got booted out of the quiet room because the airport's closing. The final flight went out, so they were like, why is this door locked? Who's in here? Why is this door locked?" So
if
they
they
caught me.
if they end up getting all four though, Cody, I'm still talking about this. I feel
Yeah.
like they can be done at offensive line.
Yep.
If they get if it just and I'll just catch you up to what I've said. I think they could be done at offensive line. They will have addressed wide receiver if we consider that Bond and Bolden and possibly Golden leave. It feels like it would have been addressed at wide receiver if they do get these guys. It feels like with safety, I mean, you can maybe add another, but it feels like that's probably fine to bring in like a linebacker safety type of guy. Like you need that kind of player, right? The only young guys that are freshmen or redshirt freshmen right now are Jordan Johnson Rebel and Xavier Filsaime.
Right.
So that's fine, but dude, to me, it's still, I don't know. I still have a little. The class would I feel like there's got to be at some point some kind of defensive line stuff going. I don't think we're going to be able to just chalk this thing up to Josiah Sharma and that's that.
Lance
and just,
Jackson.
And just the hopium for the Lance Jackson 290-pound monster.
I think there's more realism than it is hopium for Lance Jackson. Just also let me know how I sound. Also, I can change this up, but I think that the Lance Jackson thing's got legs. Sharma's pretty obvious. It sounds like they like everything they've seen out of January and Sideer and Aaron Bryant, so that seems fine. Like the back end thing, I get it, but also you have to realize like Filsaime was a big flip last year, right? He was at least a blue chip. I don't remember if he was a 5-star or not.
Oh, he's something. Yeah, I think he's a high 4-star, right?
So then Jonah's a 5-star, and Ketch has talked about how much he loves Jonah. Like I know you would realistically probably like to have multiple guys in a class, but I mean, when you got a 6.1 rated 5-star in Jonah Williams, and he's the only guy you get at the safety position, I don't think that's a problem. And were you talking the four guys? You were talking about the receivers, or were you talking about the linemen?
I'm just talking about these four that could commit here.
Okay, just these four this next week.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So,
but in totality, I guess I'll say bye. I'll go bye with all of it. I'm a little nervous on the French thing as far as being next weekend, like as far as him committing to Texas next weekend. If you told me, what are the chances? This is my there's no insider info, just like looking around on other rival sites and listening to what like Jason has said, for instance. I would say that there's like a 40% chance he commits to Texas next Saturday, but then I would say that there's probably a 60% chance in totality he ends up on the roster. Does that make sense?
Huh. Yeah, I think that this one could be a little bit cleaner than you think. I think this could be kind of clean and good. We'll see what happens. Chad Gibson, does the roster watch draft cheat sheet have strategies for different sizes, 10, 12, 14 leagues and scoring systems, PPR, non-PPR? Yes. Gosh. Those cheat sheets are like my kids right now, dude. I can't go anywhere without thinking about them, or it's like you got to walk them around and help them go to the bathroom and all this stuff, man. It's like, yeah, but we test. So there's 3 cheat sheet products: one standard and half point PPR, one PPR, and one super flex with where you can play 2 quarterbacks, and they're tested on every league size, 10, 12, 14. It starts getting weird on 16 team leagues. So there are some people that have been longtime users that I just got done making a 16-team league cheat sheet for a guy that's been a member for like 10 years, and I do it for him every year, but hardly anybody plays 16-team. But yeah, man, you can use them. If you follow the 3 simple rules at the top of the sheet of paper, you're going to have a super, super sick draft. over at rosterwatch.com for sure.
Can you throw the chat up on the side of the screen, Alex? Because I can't see a damn thing when I'm on my phone.
Yeah, for sure. Sorry, man. Yeah, but so that's the roster watch cheat sheets right there. I'll take that QR code down out of Cody's face. All right, another gosh, we have all. It looks like we have a spammer in the chat. Let me see if I can get this guy out real quick. I'm not sure I've ever had to do this. What do you do? Just block user?
Yeah, you just click on their name and block them. I think there's 2 of them.
It says block user on Facebook. Is he doing this on Facebook?
I don't know. It looks like it potentially. I got a final take for you. I didn't get to type it in because my computer is, I was getting kicked out by the security. But my final take is this is our final takes before the college.
Oh yeah, I won't be here for final takes next week. I don't know. Maybe you can do it with
we can do it on Thursday. We can do it on Thursday next week. That's fine for Colorado State. But I'm talking about the final takes before the college football season begins officially. Right, Florida State and Georgia Tech start tomorrow at noon in Dublin. And what I have a couple thoughts on the premise of entirely of college football before the season begins, right? Projections, whatever. We've talked about that before. But do you think that Alabama, I think they're 6th right now in odds to win the national championship at plus 1,400. You remember better than I probably back in like 1989, Larry Coker takes over for Jimmy Johnson in Miami. They win the national championship because the roster was loaded. Urban Meyer went undefeated his first year at Ohio State because the roster was loaded. Gus Malzahn was pretty good. Like there's been, multiple instances. Sonny Dykes won 13-1 his first year at TCU. And we obviously know Kalen DeBoer is a pretty good coach. I don't want to say people are sleeping on Alabama because I've seen plenty of projections that have them going to the SEC championship. But what would – and I guess this isn't really a take. Maybe it's a sideways take. But, what would you think if Alabama won the national championship this year with Kalen DeBoer in his first year as a head coach?
I can't say. I can't see. Yeah, I don't think you would be allowed to be surprised. You know,
I
don't think you wouldn't be allowed to be surprised. I don't think.
Yeah.
It's like he's everywhere. He's like to your. I don't put him on the pedestal that you do, being this Midwesterner that cares so much about North Dakota State or South, whatever. What did he play in? What did he play at? Some kind of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, right? Like
he
that's
won
your
4 out of 5 national championships at Sioux Falls, NAIA.
You're a stone's throw away from there right now.
Literally, I could get there in like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
But dude, he just wins and wins and wins and wins. He really does win a whole lot. How much do you think? I mean, but I do think that Grubb had a lot to do with what he did last year at Washington. Do you think that's something where it's like he can just go through these offensive coordinators and it's going to be fine? They just kind of.
I don't know about that. There was a thing this morning on our show I did catch. I can't remember the guy's first name, but it was Bartu. And
somebody's asking you about that, man.
Bartu, it was a great interview, Alex. If you haven't watched it, that's one you need to go back. You need to go listen to that guy. Pretty cool intel. He doesn't do like statistical analytics. He does more like coach-based analytics, staff-based analytics. He basically said that Alabama would make his list. There's like 4 things that qualify you for like national championship. I think over the past, I want to say he said 10 years or 24 years. And Alabama's missing it by 1 notch. And that 1 notch is because they don't know who the offensive coordinator – they don't know who's calling the plays for Bama. And the guy that they have calling, I want to say his name was like Nick. I can't even tell you the offensive coordinator for Bama. I don't know. But it's either – I want to say he said they think it's going to be this Nick guy. So if it was DeBoer calling the plays, his offensive play calling grade is high enough that it would qualify them in a threshold to be in the top 6 teams that could win the national championship this year. But because they have the in quotes offensive coordinator currently, you probably know his name now because you're looking it up. Nick something.
No, I'm going to look it up though. I'm not sure because I don't know who it is. It looks like Nick, maybe Nick Sheridan.
There it was, Nick Sheridan. I knew. Okay, there it is. So Nick Sheridan's offensive play calling grade is low enough. It's like below like a 3.5 star, I think was the threshold he said. Because that one person in that entire organization from recruiting to play calling to staff to everything, to ease of schedule, all these things that qualify you.
Wait,
he
was the tight end. He was the tight end coach at Washington?
Yeah. He's the one guy that, because he's calling the plays, they think, instead of DeBoer, he's the one qualifier that says, well, he's not good enough. If it was DeBoer calling plays, he said that Alabama would qualify in his, you have to go back and listen to it. I'm giving you like the tea leaves of the conversation, but it was a very good conversation to hear. And he thinks that's kind of the bottleneck to that team being actually national championship-esque.
Tom G, good to see you, my friend. Hope to catch you again soon, brother. $10, man. Gosh, we all know Tom G is very, very, very rich. Hi, Alex. Good catching you before this ends. Roster watch is the best. It is the best, man.
We are a nation.
Yeah, we are a nation. It's true. Thank you for the support, Tom G, and thank you for the super chat, brother. Yeah, if you guys have fantasy drafts this weekend, it's the biggest weekend, and this is the 2 weeks or the 7 days where we make all of our money for the whole year, and so that's why you hear us talking about it so much. You're not going to hear us talking this much about roster watch and the ultimate draft cheat sheets and stuff anytime after next week. But right now,
unless we sponsor the show, because we are looking for a sponsor, and if we don't get one, we might have to sponsor ourselves all season now.
Well, there's no reason to sponsor roster watch in the middle of the season, right? You got to get signed up now, get a good team drafted, and make sure you hit those first few waiver runs and get ready to dominate. So that's rosterwatch.com. That's me, Cody, Trash Man, Byron, Can't Miss Mitch, all the tools and all the help that you'll ever need for your fantasy leagues over there, and awesome NFL draft content whenever that kicks up. Okay. Final takes. Do you want me to ask you one? Or you said that you had one for me just about Alabama. I say that, yeah, man, I think they could easily win the national championship.
Yeah, that was mine. I got another one in the pocket, but I'll let you go first.
Look, this is the best news of the whole show. Sonny Nelson says that she's working on a sponsor for us. There we go. Sonny, please.
Let's go.
We need it. Okay. All right. Do you have another one, or do you want me to?
I want you to go.
Hey, man, we got to say to people in chat, it was like a discombobulated start. Just give our usual thank yous. Thank you guys for being here. We appreciate you being here. Sorry we were a little bit early today, but Cody had this thing. We're probably gonna have to cut out a little early too, because Cody's got some stuff to do. But we thank you for being here. We can't tell you how much we appreciate it. 400 of you guys already here in the chat. Dang. as we get through this thing. So we do appreciate y'all. So is it my final take or yours up next?
It's yours, brother.
Okay. How about this one? That's an NFL one. I'll wait till that one for later.
Ooh, we got 2 weeks for them.
Okay. How about this? Traditional college bowls outside of the playoff are 100% going the way of the dodo bird.
False. I'll sell that. I don't think so. I think in totality, they're getting a little less recognition, but I can't remember who the coach was.
But no, I didn't mean like right now. I just said eventually they're going the way of the dodo bird. No one's.
No, I know what you said.
Players aren't going to play in these games.
But here's the thing: is that I can't remember which coach it was. I want to say it was at the SEC Media Days. I can't remember if it was Stoops or Kelly or one of these guys, and they talked about. Somebody asked them about these bowl games, and basically what they said was. And I guess it's probably the best examples to use Oklahoma last year, right? Jackson all got to go out there and they got to see what he was. A number of other quarterbacks, a number of different offenses got to go out there and teams got to see what they were. It's essentially like a spring game, like a preseason spring game or preseason game innately. And that's exactly basically what they said was it's like, yeah, we're not in the national championship, but we still get to like give these guys an opportunity.
You see the 50 and extra practices.
Build a baseline. It's like you're giving them like it's a whole nother setting to have them go through the process of being the starters and say you got 12 guys going to the NFL and all 12 guys are opting out of the game. Well, guess what? That's 12 more starting spots that a particular roster is going to get to utilize for one real game for guys that haven't played.
But
I get the point of and the sponsorships may dwindle, right? You may go from Pop-Tarts to like Great Value, something like that. But like you're still going to have games, whether like I said, dwindles down to a rug store sponsoring the game rather than Doritos. But like I still think you're going to have bowl games. Maybe you won't have 64 of them. Maybe you'll have 40 of them. But
there's not going to be the interest, and like players a bunch of guys aren't going to want to play in the game. They'll go through the practices, but they won't play in the game. And if
somebody
they're leaving,
will. Somebody will.
Somebody will.
There's 100 dudes on a team.
Right, with
somebody's
rosters
playing. Somebody's getting opportunities.
Yeah. I think, well, look, it's going to water down bowl season. It's not going to be, it's not going to be as fun.
I can't disagree.
It's, it won't be, I mean, these games have always been kind of meaningless to begin with, right? We have to remind you to like the video, subscribe to the channel. 400 of you guys in here right now, creeping up now towards 500. So we do appreciate that. Also appreciate you always letting us tell you about Texas Beef Traders. I mean, dude, Texas Beef Traders is absolutely delicious, and look, it's covering up Cody's face. I don't know how to do the cool thing that Cody does. What is this? How Cody does it? There we go.
There you
go. Dude, I'm telling you, I'm not that big a boomer, Cody. I can figure some things out. But look, the one thing that I know that I don't need to figure out is where I'm going to get my beef, where I'm going to get this wonderful meat that fuels my family, right? No vaccines, no antibiotics, no anything like that, right? We just get the meat from Texas Beef Traders: meat, sausages, snack sticks, jerky. But dude, the best things, the steaks and the ground beef, man, for burgers. Right there in the heart of Lakeway. It's the best beef you'll ever have at Texas Beef Traders, TexasBeefTraders.com. You get 10% off every time you go in. You're a VIP because you watch this show. 10% off, and the ground beef is already only $4 a pound, and it's steakhouse quality. It's absurd, man. You get a pound of ground beef for $3.60 at TexasBeefTraders.com. The best that you'll have, right from Mason, Texas, local, American. You know it's local. You know where it comes from. Great people, great company, great farmers at Texas Beef Traders. Give them a call today. And if you can't make it into Lakeway, just call them, make an order, and they'll just bring it to you. It's free. Well, the meat's not free, but they're not going to charge you to deliver it.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And then, we're going to have a live event at Texas Beef Traders on September 6th. So mark your calendars, come early, drink some beers with us. We're going to have a bunch of steaks and a bunch of hamburgers, and they're going to make sausage wrap. Dude, they're really good cooks up there, man. They'll pair some wine with the food for you, and they'll just give it to you. They just want you to taste the food. So make sure and come up there. Cody will tell you, it's like they're going to put out a spread for us, man. So even if you don't like the show, if you just want good food, just come out, come drink some beers and drink some wines. And they're really good wines too, man. Darren makes the wine. So it's crazy.
One more thing. I see Chad Gibson in the chat. He says, Cody, when will the point spreads be added to the SEC pool you created? So I created a pool yesterday. It's Run Your Pool. It's going to be a season-long SEC pick'em thing. It's going to be SEC teams only, football with friends. It's a football with friends league. But again, you'll have all next week to join as well, because there's no SEC games this weekend, which is BS. But I'll have the link. When I'm actually at a computer next week, I'll put the QR code up on the screen for you guys to join that. But to answer your question, Chad, there are no spreads because we don't put the spreads in. Run Your Pools does because they gather the spreads from the sports books, so they'll be up next week.
I signed up earlier today, and I saw that there were already 11 people in there, and we haven't even put it in the chat here in the thing. So we could get a good one, and the bigger it gets, the bigger the prize package we'll make for the winner. But it's an SEC only weekly pick 'em, and we'll have a lot of fun here, keeping up with the leaderboard and kind of having fun with our cockamamie and fun community here. Because Cody, you know I'm all about community, right? Okay. Do you have a final take, or do you want me to just keep on? Dude, I have a bunch of these I can fire out. We only have 12 more minutes.
I got one.
Okay.
I got one, and I'll let you have it. Quinn Ewers does not go to New York City for the Heisman Trophy ceremony, but Texas does play in the national championship.
No, if Texas plays in the national championship, Quinn's there, unless it's just a miracle season where he gets hurt, Arch comes in and just does magic and sets the absolute world on fire, sets the media space on fire, right? That's the only way that I could see it happening. Because if Texas is in the national championship, I don't see any way that Quinn Ewers did not put up the kind of numbers that he would need to get there. I think that it would be. I don't like the word literally, but I think in this case, people overuse literally. They really do. They use it as a crutch, and I really get tilted to hear my kids do it. It's like it's become such a part of common parlance. The kids do it. They use it as a crutch. It's a bad word to use, but in this case, I do mean this literally. It's a lock. if Texas goes to the national championship, Quinn will be in New York. I'm not saying that he's going to win it, but it's like if one, then the other. It will. There's no way that it can't happen.
What do the kids say? The kids say, "Cap, you're wrong."
Well, no, I'm not wrong. You're wrong.
Cap City. Okay, so this is how it goes down. This is how it goes down.
No, it's not. I thought it's no cat or wait, no cap.
I don't know. I just threw the cap at you. That's how I perceive it. I don't know. I'm kind of a boomer when it comes to those slang things. But here's how it works: is early in the season, and I think in totality, I've used the word totality 3 times today. I don't know why. They want to see what Arch looks like. They want to see what these young kids look like against Colorado State, against UTSA, against UL Monroe. Innately, it'll end up happening against Vandy, potentially Mississippi State. That's 5 games that you could potentially see no Quinn in the fourth quarter, right? 5 games out of 12. Statistically, they will tell you. Statistically, they will tell you that Quinn will, on average, miss.
This isn't Sioux Falls, Cody. This is the University of Texas. If you get to the national championship, you're going to go to New York.
Tell me how a Quinn Ewers qualifies for the Heisman Trophy ceremony with 3,400 passing yards and 27 touchdowns and 6 picks. How does that qualify you when there's no rushing, when there's no 800 yards rushing? It's just that with 250, 300 yards rushing. Tell me how that qualifies you.
Cody, I'm not sure that Texas finds itself in a position to be playing in the national championship if he has pedestrian numbers.
But those aren't pedestrian numbers.
They don't have a run game to rely on.
Those aren't pedestrian numbers if he's missing the fourth quarter in 5 games.
You missed the fourth quarter in all the games. How many are you what Cody, people have been playing against BFE State for 3 games in a row to start seasons for years. You pay these schools a bunch of money to come and lose. You just do it. Chattanooga comes to town. It's just what happens. It's whatever. Texas actually during their preseason schedule is going to have at least one game where they're going to have to play the whole time. Some of these teams don't. Some of these teams play UL La Monroe and the New Mexico State Aggies and you know what I mean, Bowling Green. And they do, and those are the teams they play, and the quarterbacks have to come out early, and they get to like that, and that's when guys lose their red shirts, right? Is through that series of games. Like all this evens out.
Sark has said he wants to see Arch. He said he wants to see these young guys. He wants the length of the season to not hinder these players from staying healthy. I'm just telling you what he's said, and I'm saying if hypothetically Quinn's pulled from games and Steven Henderson says it right now. If he needs to pass for 4,000 yards if he wants to get to the title game, I don't disagree with you. But 4,000 yards is – I literally projected him for north of that through 16 games. That's not through 12 games. But if you project him for 4,000 yards in 12 games, I mean, you're talking about 350, 340 yards per game all season long. Like, thank you for putting the link in there. I don't expect that to happen. You can't expect 4,000 in the regular season and 40 touchdowns. And like I'm just being honest with you, 3,400 yards I think is a good season for Quinn. 27 to 28 touchdowns, sure. But when you compare that to Shador and Travis and Carson Beck and guys of this nature, like it's a different level.
Is it 5 of them allowed there? Is it 5 or 4?
4.
See, if Quinn is playing in the national championship, he will have had the requisite numbers, and he will have had he will have the gravitas, the attaché, whatever you want to like. He's the quarterback of the Texas Longhorns. Like he's going to be there.
Defense, rushing game, I think will and like I said, not playing in the fourth quarter of multiple games, I think will hinder it.
Okay. Well, I can't. I think
yours for the final take. That's
so bad. Take. That's just bad. I totally disagree. All right, let's see. What do we got next? Okay, how about this? Sadir Mitchell will need to play a relatively significant role snap-wise by the end of the 2024 season. If you're going to have any confidence, he'll play a significant role in 2025.
What was the percentage again?
Just play a relatively significant role snap-wise. So you need to look back on it and say, you know what, his snap percentage was relatively significant. We could put a number on that if you'd like. Do you want to put a number on it?
So I obviously I came out with the boat, like I came out blazing back in the spring when I kind of made like a, Sidier's the linchpin of his defense. Like he has to be good. That was kind of before we got kind of signs of what these transfer portal guys are and signs of, Aaron Bryant and things like this. But
Cache, not attache. What is an attache? Hey, Esron 45, what is an attache?
did you say attache or did I?
I think I said attache.
I was going to say, what?
What is it? What is attache? It's some kind of sushi or something. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
so I said 40% as a linchpin, but that was before kind of we saw what they were going to do with all of these guys. I think there's a real possibility. I think you said the number with Trill Carter was 25% last year. I don't have a problem with him playing between 15 and 25. 25?
I would call that relatively significant. Do you need to see him in that sort of role by the end of the 2024 season if you're going to have any confidence that he'll play?
If it's 25%, I'm going to be very I'm going to feel very good about it going into next year. If it's 15%, I'll probably be middle of the line. But I think both of those, anywhere in between there, should make you happy for his progression.
Okay. I think that's about right. How about this? Jalen Milroe, the best value here on this. Let me pull up this thing that I had earlier. Where is it? Oh, here it is.
Tom G, shout out jumping in around the pool. Appreciate you, dog.
Appreciate you, Tom G. All right. Heisman Trophy odds on DraftKings. Do you see this?
What, this cockamamie Dylan Gabriel crap?
Yeah. Is it not sharing?
You don't share anything from me.
It says unable to share the screen. Okay. So I don't know what's going on here. Let me just try it one more time because
screenshot it.
It had never given me a problem before.
There it is. There it is.
Okay. So here it is. We have share, right? It's fine.
You're up. You're good.
I know, but I got this whole thing up right now. So looking at those odds, Jalen Milroe is the best bet. Or the one that you would take. Dude, I can't believe Dylan Gabriel's gotten ahead.
Can I be honest with you? I don't know if I would bet on anybody here. I'm not going to take money on Dylan Gabriel. I don't think that Carson Beck has enough talent. I'm just going to walk through all these guys for you. I don't think Carson Beck has enough talent around him to get up to that 4,000 yard area in passing. Again, Georgia hasn't had a 1,000-yard receiver in 20 years. Quinn, I think he can have a really good season. I'm not sure he's going to blitz the world and, like I said, go for 4,300 yards. Jackson Dart got plenty of weaponry around him. I'm just not sure he's on that level. I think that's a little pricey. Will Howard, plenty of talent around him. The rushing is seemed to be something that they've talked about a lot coming out of camp. We talked to Allen a couple of weeks ago. He seemed pretty happy about it. That's an interesting one. I think maybe the first one I feel decent about. Milroe, guy we know can rush for 1,000 yards. There's a lot of talent behind him at the quarterback position. I think it really depends on if Ryan Williams takes that step up. Nico, no, it's too early. You got a lot of talent out there in Tennessee, but it's just way too early to be betting on Nico to win the Heisman. Riley Leonard, good rushing quarterback, very inconsistent passing. Nussmeier, there's talent there, but I mean, he's not going to do what Jaden Daniels did. He doesn't have that upside. Cam Ward is interesting at plus 2,200. They'll probably be a 9-10 win team. I think the best bet on this entire list of 10 is Will Howard at plus 1,500. But again, like I said, I don't love any of them. I don't think any of them are really insane values.
Looks like we got a couple of people joining the pool, man. That definitely appreciate you guys, man. We're gonna have a lot of fun, and we're gonna put together a cool prize package for whoever ends up taking this thing down. And and it's gonna be so cool that like I'm gonna try to take it down because this could be like a prize where I want to win it too. So, are we gonna be eligible to win? Of course, right?
Hell yeah, we are.
We have to stay competitive in this thing. All right. Again, thanks so much to everybody for being here today. We can't tell you how much we appreciate it. A little bit of a kind of odd show today, but we managed to get it done. 500 of you guys in here. If you guys could please remember to like the show, subscribe to the channel. We certainly appreciate it. Super pumped, man, that we got 500 people showing up on a Friday. It didn't used to be like this. So hopefully we're Oh, look at that Poncho Outdoors shirt. Thanks to Poncho, man, for sponsoring the show and being such great sponsors with such great clothes. I got a new Poncho shirt in the mail just yesterday that they sent me, Cody. It's an all black long sleeve Western. I figured I could use it for more like wintertime because all mine are like really light colors, for summer wearing. I was like, man, I'm gonna need something to wear in the winter when it starts getting a little cold. You want to
pack, but I'll just say this. We're talking about Poncho here. Shout out to Poncho. I didn't pack, but I think 4 shirts. I'm going to be home for about 72 hours. I packed 4 shirts. This one's a poncho, and tomorrow night for the concert I'm going to, I packed my Western poncho, and I got to be sporting that thing.
We definitely represent Poncho.
Versatile.
Go check out Poncho Outdoors, and we will thank you for doing that because they're great sponsors. They send us gear, man. Like, we just love the gear, so it's like, I mean, that's just an honest endorsement of Poncho Outdoors. Thanks to everybody for being here. Sorry, it's a different sort of show today. We started a little early, going to get out a little earlier than that, but Cody's got stuff to do, man. He's got family to take care of. He's got little sisters to move. You know how that goes. I know that you guys have all done that before. So thanks to everybody for being here. We can't tell you how much we appreciate it. We respect your time. We're in, we're out. It's just football information, straight football. We're back Monday for game week.
Game week.
Thank you,
we
guys.
made it.
Go have a big weekend. Enjoy college football week 0.